Anyone would? Yeah, please just unmute yourself and speak.
For me personally, it is about just the monkey inside me, the monkey mind inside me, which always looks for the ladder to climb, as you put it in your story. I want that monkey mind to just calm down, the constant chatter, so that I learn to live in now and embrace whatever now is.
But there are so many other modalities that you've already learned, as I know, as a part of your course. And you still want to learn more. Still zeroing down on what is it that will really help your monkey.
There's never one-way traffic, Like I was sitting by a lake, a river yesterday, and near the river, there came a junction where the river, there's lots of pebbles and stones, and suddenly it went in so many different directions.
Okay.
And I sat there thinking that there's never one, a lot of people ask me myself, why do you keep learning? When are you going to start making money and all practicing? So, I'm constantly learning, because I feel there's never one way to achieving one place, that there can be different ways. On one day you like to use a certain way, another day something else. Or maybe put
all address this.
Yeah.
Very interesting sharing. Thank you. Very good. A lot of people go through this. And I remember Dr. Atul sharing something similar once. Maybe he has spoken to you all on it. I'll address that. Definitely. Excellent. Thank you, Shubha. Anyone else would like to speak up?
So, ma'am, personally for me, the whole idea has been that I am learning so that I can ultimately start working. I am working on myself, and the idea here is the more I learn, the more different ways I can work on myself.
Okay.
My goal was never to work on others, because I don't think I am enough.
I did the yoga teachers training course also. I had no intention of teaching yoga.
It just happened.
I'm basically a teacher, and I teach for learning. For me, teaching is learning.
Absolutely.
But it's never for teaching. But I ended up being one.
Yes, I agree to that. I do the same thing these days. Thank you.
Good one. Nice to find birds of feather flock together. Someone else who would like to speak? At least one more person. So you're all here only because it's part of the class, huh?
No, I can speak.
Please, please to me.
Okay, so I have also got, I got certified in EFT as a part of my NLP studies, and it's a beautiful technique. And as I went more into, that's what the yearning began for me to yoga, because a lot of the deeper things, what I learned in EFT and NLP. And then it went kind of in the back burner, because EFT was such a beautiful, easy technique. And then I was trying different exploring, but now I'm here again to refresh and I'm like, why am I not using this simple? And I'm a coach too. So I'm also learning for the last 55 years. And so I thought, you know what, I want to refresh and start using this technique, because it worked so beautifully on me. And it's so simple. And I'm trying difficult techniques. I'm like, let's get back to the easy, simple one. So thank you. I'm here to learn.
This is so heartwarming to hear you. So heartwarming. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored. I hope I do justice to your earlier experience.
I'm honored too. No judgment. I'm here open. And it's been like last couple of things, I have done all that, but then every single thing, it's so different. Like even in the hypnosis or NLP, I don't use specifically for specific thing. Like some of the things I use generally. So every single person, I have learned so much. So yes, thank you again.
Very true. Very true. Very true. Thank you for everyone who has shared. Anybody else who would like to speak? Yes, Vrinda, please speak up.
So I think that I'm free in every other way except in my emotions, and I still need to release a few of my emotions that are still stuck despite all the different modalities. And I think this might be the one. So
yes, you never know.
In that search.
Excellent. Good. Yes, Beena?
Yes, ma'am. So really, it's honestly, I wouldn't know about EFT if I didn't come to this psychotherapy diploma. However, we've been offered so many modalities to learn. And when it said emotional freedom technique, the title was very interesting. And I feel it has a lot to offer because most of us, 90% of us, are grappling with difficult emotions, and that forms the basis for most of us for our behavior and patterns. So I am quite curious about what you have to offer us today. And I'm actually traveling and I'm in some other town and I have a function, and all my relatives are like, what happens if you're going to miss the class? But I'm here. So that tells you I'm quite interested and that I want
Yes.
to be here.
And I'm sure you'll find it rewarding.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks.
Welcome. Oh, so nice, so nice. Know it that this time that we are going to spend together is not going to be simply one way. We are going to go through a little doing things. You understand, Yoga Institute drills it into you that everything has to be experiential. So experience cannot happen without you participating. Okay. So that's what we will be doing. It won't be just talk, or PPT. Not at all. All the same, I'll start sharing my screen, show you a few slides, and again come back and we will talk further. At any point of time, you have some observation to make, something to comment, something to ask. Feel free to post it in the chat. And in between also, if you want to ask something, please raise your hand. There's that option of raising hand also. And when I have completed one thought process, I can stop in between and take questions. So we will have question answer at the end, but still at the time when you really feel you want to ask the question, if possible, I'll give it to you at the earliest opportune moment to ask your question. Okay. So please feel free to use the chat and to raise your hand and speak up when it's time to speak also. We will do a good amount of interaction in this couple of hours that we're going to be together. Let me share my screen. Can you see my PPT?
Yes, no, ma'am. It's coming
It's
on.
coming up now.
Okay, it's coming up. Yeah, it's going round and round. Now, can you see? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll make it full screen. This is better. Yes. So, emotional freedom technique. Some of you must have already searched it out, what it is about. And the very name also suggests, as some of you also shared. And by this Vritti coach Suchitra, Suchitra has recently got an app by the name Vritti Coach Suchitra, through which I do all this teaching. So if you come to me for any class, you'll learn through Vritti Coach Suchitra. It's an app. And Sri Ganeshaya Namaha. Being in Sankhya Yoga, Sankhya speaks of evolution of Prakriti, when Purusha and Prakriti comes together. The first evolute of Prakriti is Buddhi, which is represented by all the traits and characteristics that you know, see, and hear in Ganesha. So Ganesha is only a physical representation for the purpose of concentration of the first evolute of Prakriti, the Mahat or the Buddhi. And without the Buddhi, the rest of it is just not possible. You can't get to the Bhutas and the Panchamahabhutas and the Bhautik Jagat. We are living in the Bhautik Jagat. So therefore, invoking the blessings of our Buddhi, that it be with us and become pure. Having to invoke the divine, my respects to my gurus, founder of the Yoga Institute, Mother Sita Devi, Dr. Jayadev, my direct preceptor, and Hansaji. When I joined the Yoga Institute 7 months teacher's training course, and we would go through, as we enter, we first have to go to the office. And this is what I would always read placed over there. There used to be a card kept on the desk which read, "You are what you think." I would like you to react to this. If you can say, what do you think of this statement? What comes to your mind looking at this statement? How much do you believe this? Or you don't believe this? According to you, that's not it. Please do share. You can unmute yourself and speak. You can also put it in the chat. So I will stop sharing at this point before hearing you. After hearing you, then I will continue. So you are what you think.
What I understand, ma'am, is your beliefs are your own truth. So what you believe in is what
speaking?
you are. This
Who's
is Anita.
speaking,
Anita, ma'am.
Yeah, Anita. Yeah, tell us.
So I think it's your own beliefs form your truth. So what you believe in becomes true for you.
Becomes true for you. Excellently put. Very well put. Someone else? Yes, Suzanne.
Your thoughts are like, you manifest what you think. So whatever you think about yourself, or whatever about yourself or others, or about anything, is what shows up in your life.
Manifest our
Yeah.
thoughts. Wow.
So if you got to think positive or think in a way that suits you.
Right, right. You are what you think. Anyone else would like to give their view? Yeah, Kumi.
So basically, each of our thoughts, it connects to, it triggers our emotions, and whatever we feel, it manifests, it creates.
Excellent. Anybody who does not agree with this or doubt this or has any questions on it? No. My God, all of you are conformist. Shall I say that?
Actually, I doubt it.
Yes, Vrinda, I would like to hear from you.
Yes, our thoughts have an impact on our behavior and our actions, but we are more than that, as we've learned in yoga. Our self and our consciousness is our true being.
Consciousness is bigger than the thinking. All right, very good. Very good, Terry. At least
Yeah, our physical body is what we think, though.
Okay, physical body, right. One more person, if can speak, will be better. Yeah, Barbara, you want to speak? Speak up.
Okay, so I partially agree with Brinda. I think that we are not what we think, at least at the beginning, but then our thoughts create our reality. But at the beginning, I don't think we are our mind or our thoughts.
Ultimately, you are what you think, not in the beginning.
Yes, right.
Perfect, perfect. I'm so happy. Actually, you people have already just moved the workshop forward. So we are in a good space. So you are what you think, ultimately, at least, even if not in the beginning. Why not in the beginning is what we will discover as we go further, and why ultimately, yes. This is our life experience also that has told us that it's necessary to think right, think positive. Can you think of life fullest like this? Do we have this life just now? Do we all want to reach there? I don't think anybody will say no. Right? But always the question is when and how, what to do for it. Yes. While we always want to be there, there are moments when we are there, but why are we not able to hold on to it? Why are we not able to get to it easily? Why do we have to keep waiting for it? Why does it take so long? Why do we fall back from there? I, as an educator, being taught the learning domains, I learned this in my career as education, my training as an educator in B.Ed college also. And then I used it when I was teaching also, particularly at the Yoga Institute, because experiential learning is the focus there. And our experiences in life that teach us have to be complete. And learning happens also in these three domains. Life is a school. Life teaches us. Life is for learning. And we are equipped to live life fully by these three instruments that are given to us for each of the three domains: the head, the hands, and the heart, the three H. Speaking of it in terms of psychology or education, we talk of it as cognitive domain that does thinking, knowing, understanding, that takes place in the head. So represented by the head. Then there is a psychomotor domain, the doing, which is seen as our behavior, our actions, our speech, and all that we do: eating, sleeping, drinking, dancing, fighting, everything. And there is a third domain called affective domain, which is feeling, beliefs, and emotions. The head, the cognitive domain, is always made very important. All our learning and education is predominantly head oriented, cognition oriented. Yes, you are expected to read, write, learn, to think, and all that. We are also, therefore, having some amount of regulation over what I want to think just now, what I don't want to think just now. Yes, you can choose that. I just now, I think Veena said that there are people calling me for the function and they can't imagine and understand why am I here. So physically she has drawn herself out from there. But it is possible that if she decides that no, this is not good enough to pay attention to, her mind can keep drifting back. But she can decide to draw her mind back from all the tamasha and noise that may be happening in her background, which seems like a distraction. She can consciously stop. Right, Veena? Which is what you're doing actually, right?
Yes.
Psychomotor, we all have been educated how to behave with people, with youngers, with elders, with teachers, with friends, how to speak, to be polite, to be gentle, and all that, right? We've also been educated that to be healthy, you need to play, you need to walk, you need to eat, you need to rest, all the physical things. So we are somewhat having some control over our head, and we are trained for it, we are educated for it. Some training we have got for our hand and our speech. That also belongs to psychomotor domain. And with the best of our knowledge and understanding, with the best of the skills and abilities, we may be ready for an activity, but it happens that emotions take over and nothing works as per our thinking, and our skills all go for a toss. Has it happened with you sometime? It has. That the emotions just take over, and the best of the party that you may be enjoying and you had thought out and planned out, because of certain belief, certain feelings that take over you, certain emotions that are overpowering, they take precedence over the head and the hand. The heart becomes very, very important. Has there is education for the head, there is education for the hand, the speech. What education have you had for feeling, beliefs, emotions? If I tell you right now, I want to pick up the mouse, so I can pick up the mouse of my computer. Yes, it doesn't take long. My hand just reaches out. The psychomotor is under my control. Yes. And if I tell you just now, just think of a blue bird. You can. Even if you have never seen a blue bird before, but you have knowledge of blue color, you have knowledge of a bird. Yes. You can think of a bird being blue. Yes. Your thinking is in your control. But if I tell you, feel love, feel jealousy, how is it? You have no regulation over that. You have no control over that. वो तो love तो कोई some love object होएगा सामने अपने आप आता है. It comes on its own. I can't make myself do it. Jealousy, yeah, if there is an event or if I recall some memory, then yes, in that state, I may feel jealous or guilt or whatever. So this domain, this is like having to ride a tricycle of which two wheels are in good condition because you've taken good care of it. They are under your control. But that third one is not working properly. Either doesn't have enough air, or it is punctured, or it is not attended to, because you've never paid attention to it. You've never given it any importance. And it is making your movement slow. It's dragging you behind. It's making you apply more force than required to go forward. That is what is happening to most of us because of unattended, uneducated, affective domain. When I say a tricycle, all three wheels has to be stirred in the same direction. Yes, they cannot take different directions. They have to be well integrated. You can do that if they're listening to you, if they're following your direction, if they're well connected to your steering. The cognitive domain, the head, we have undergone education for that. To whatever extent, there may be still so many things that we have yet to know, yet to understand, yet to learn. but quite a lot. We already have control over it. And we also know how to educate it further in whatever areas we need to. Similarly, you have trained your psychomotor, you've trained your speech, you've trained your actions, your behavior. Yes, and you are able to do a good job of it. Though there may still be some more skills and abilities, capacities that you want to develop, you need to develop, right? Like if you are asked to recite a Sanskrit, your Sanskrit shlokas or Yoga Sutras, as many of you are yoga teachers, a lot of them might be tongue twisters, right? But that doesn't mean you don't know how to use your tongue, correct? You know how to practice it and make your tongue say it. Can we say the same thing about our heart? We haven't educated it at all, and we don't know how and where to get this learning. It is like untamed, and it is very powerful. Just like the energy of the wind and the ocean, it's so strong and remains unharnessed. So is this untamed tool for completing our experience. To have a good, complete experience, you need all the three. There can be nothing without these three. They are as much together like the three gunas. The three gunas always exist together. There can nothing be. If it has sattva, there has to be rajas and tamas. If it has tamas, there has to be sattva and rajas. And if it has rajas, there has to be sattva and tamas. There is no two ways about it. And so also is this. Any experience that we have has these three components. And if one of them is not doing well, is not under our check, is not listening to us, is not educated, it will become the cause for our not being able to progress, not being able to maintain a state that we may have reached, and there will always be too much energy utilized for small little progress. And it looks like an uphill task or trying to swim against the tide. Our emotional domain, the affective domain, is a part of us. Just like a cat is a domestic animal by and large, whereas a lion is a wild animal. But this domestic animal, if it is wild, you will dare not go near it. You will not go and pat it. You will not pick it up. And this wild animal, generally wild, a lion, if it is tamed, domesticated, trained, educated, you can go and hug it, pat it, and love it. It can tame this. This is in any case a domestic animal. It's a part of you. It is yours. It is given to you for use. Just like you're given your head and hand. Is there somebody else who's running your head? Is there somebody else who is using your hand? Why should your heart be dependent on others? Nahi, he did so and so, therefore I got angry. Arey Baba, why are you giving your remote to somebody else? Why are you working on remote first and foremost? Who told you to develop a remote? Keep charge of your own self. Have your hand on your switches. It's up to you. It is given to you. You're born with this. You're right to it. But because we have not tamed it, we are suffering. Even little irritation, if you're having every day, or the same thing repeating every day. There are a lot of events that keep repeating in our life, no? And every time we react the same way, habitual patterns. And even if we know that it is coming, we are not able to prepare ourselves and prevent ourselves from reacting. So, till today, you were able to forgive. Yes, because in the society today, no provision has been made to tame this wildfire, to regulate it, to bring it under control. So you are able to forgive. Ye gusse mein kar diya, somebody did this wrong in anger, just let it be, forgive. And we forgive. Why? Because we also think that it is not possible to always keep the anger under check. Someday or the other, it's going to happen. Oh, in grief, that person must have behaved in this manner. Yes, some grief that you have in your life, and it goes on sometimes for years, carried through life, and don't come out of it. And we think it is how it happens. Then you have learned emotional freedom technique. I tell my participants of the basic course when they come for it in detail, when I teach the nuances of the technique for practicing for your own self. One thing I tell them for sure, whatever you're going to get out of this program, 12 to 16 hours program, one thing you are sure to lose by the end of the program. And that is the right to excuse yourself to be in the grip of emotion. To forgive yourself, but it's okay, fine. I was very sad, very angry, or, too disturbed, too disintegrated. I had this belief system, no more an excuse for it. So only if you're ready to lose that right to qualify to be an emotional freedom technique practitioner for self-help. Yes. Others you can forgive because they are not educated in this. They don't have a tool for taming themselves. But now with EFT, you have the tool, is what I tell them when they complete the program, or rather in between when they are doing the program. Okay, if you want, you can leave it right now if you don't want to lose that right. But I'm sure we all like that. Independent, to be responsible for ourselves. Yes. Proud of yourself that you are in check, you are in control, and you take full responsibility of your whatever you are going through. Yes, it's very empowering. One more thing for you to respond to. What do you think about what Aristotle said? Aristotle means how many years ago? Good, nearly 400-500 years ago. Yes, educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. I like a few responses on this. You can write in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and speak. Anyone?
I agree because,
Yeah.
especially, I mean, at least in my house, we are generally not, expressing an emotion is frowned upon. And we don't even get to experience our emotion in complete ways. Forget about, learning how to tame it or learning how to educate ourselves on it, right?
You've experienced that. So education of heart is very important. You have realized that. Very good. Who else would like to speak? Yeah, please. Go on, Sheetal.
So I can just speak from practical experience that my mind, I've educated my mind enough to know that certain getting angry is not good for me. Getting carried away by emotions is not good for me. I know all of that, right? I can talk all the sweet talks. But when that moment actually occurs, all that education is tossed out and that emotion comes up.
Because of the untamed and so much power it has, no?
Yes.
So powerful. And imagine having this with you and allowing it to eat you up rather than help you. My God. I can imagine how you're feeling. Yeah. Anyone else would like to speak? Yeah, Suzanne.
But as we were taught in Atul sir's class, that the frequency and intensity, because taming does not happen overnight. We're all on a journey where we've begun the training. We're all slowly and step by step getting tamed. That's talking about myself, the amount of times I used to react to anything and everything around me. And now I'm only happy to, when I reflect back, to see that the intensity and the frequency is getting better. And I know I'm progressing towards being tamed. But a lot of time we self-criticize ourselves by saying, looking at only all those aspects we fail, forgetting that taming also is a journey. It's a slow and steady progress. So let's all give ourselves a pat on the back that we at least are aware that we need to be tamed, rather than living an ignorant life that what is taming and what is untaming.
Great. First hurdle overcome. Yeah, Beena.
Yeah, in this respect, educating the mind without educating the heart. Again, personal experience that going through Atul sir's classes have gotten me this far, that the same example I gave you about attending the class today, in spite of being in a particular family function, I don't think I could have, my heart would have wanted to be in the class. And then I couldn't have said no to all the relatives who are asking me to be there. So putting myself before the needs of the family function is a journey through which I've progressed, which is why I'm sitting here today. So I would say I'm in the journey of taming the heart and probably getting somewhere with that.
Very good, very good. So this is a good sign. You are already a part of the course and you've already experienced this, where you fully understand and agree with Aristotle. Yes, none of us will disagree, correct? Now, as I told you, what I tell my participants of the full detail EFT course, so far we have not been trained and tamed. We all do what Sheetal shared. All of us do that. We are also doing what Suzanne and Beena are saying, right? But it is like our hand is trained. It can do what we tell it to do, what it wants to do. Say, my hand has to click the mouse. So if it goes at that speed, by the time I reach the mouse, the need for clicking the mouse will be over. Right? And now I've reached there to click. Even this much time is too much, no? Because I totally agree with what Sheetal is saying, and I'm sure all of you do. It just takes over. And itna time to bahut zyada time ho gaya. This is too much time. It doesn't give you an opportunity. Think back. To step back. To prevent the damage. Yeah, Nita, you want to say something? Please share.
So I was just responding to that Aristotle statement. Yeah. So I'm just it's just an observation that there is so much focus on education. Otherwise, like the school education, right? But I don't think parents focus too much on how their children are actually managing the challenges that they face outside of the studies, especially in school, where like even between like even if it's just bullying is a big thing, but even like having a disagreement with a friend or whatever age, or they and since they are kids, they will have very they will generate lots of emotions. They might not understand things. I mean, look at us adults, we have so many emotions at our age, but so I think that focus at that age is not there. But so like the the statement, there is more focus on education, but then eventually in life these kids need to know how to manage their emotions, because that education, they might not be able to apply their mind at work if they don't have like a balanced emotions, or they can't manage their emotions. Yeah, so that's what I want to say.
Very well said, very well. Good concern. Yakubi.
Yeah, it was just adding to what Nita was saying. Basically, it's like information overload nowadays, and then so much of inner wisdom that comes from educating the heart, like the ways with meditation or nature, so many simple ways when you're connected to your soul. That wisdom is neglected, and that is so it guides me personally in my experience more than, I mean, the other one is important too, but I think this is neglected.
But this is equally important.
Yeah.
Therefore, the three needs to be well integrated. We can't say in the tricycle which paya, which wheel is more important.
Exactly.
Each of them are equally important.
Yeah,
so
but sadly, it's so much. Yeah.
Now, with EFT, you can fill in that gap. You can actually work at taming this wildfire, making the wild cat a domestic one, turning a tiger into a cat. It is possible. And it is possible to do it like this. Talking of it in the face of the situation, when that feeling is actually so strong. And I'm recalling something Nick Otter, who is one of the EFT practitioner and teacher. He says that people kind of jokingly talk of him in a manner, okay, if you go with the problem to Nick, he will always make you do tapping, which is what is true for me too. He says that if you are running away from a tiger, you're afraid of a tiger following you and you're running away, and you meet me on the face, I will say, wait, let's do tapping. And believe me, it works. When you can let go that fear, that tiger will also let go you. I have also been a wildlifer. I'm a biology teacher. I used to take people out on treks in the countryside, into jungles, and actually experienced it. That human is not the food of any of the lower mammals. They don't like human flesh. They're not out to eat you. But they react in that manner because you scare them. They're only doing this in self-defense. It is, I think, in a lot of Rishi's lives. This is story about Raman Maharshi also, and even about Sri Yogendraji. That, walking past a jungle path, and they found a snake nearby. There was a disciple along who was beginning to, make movement that would have disturbed the snake. Yogendra ji just held his hand and told him to just calm down, remain quiet. You don't disturb that. It's passing by, it quietly passed by, even just touching the legs without doing anything, because it did not experience any fear and danger from you. We invite by reacting in this emotional way, not having to have anything to convert. Emotion is also an energy, and energy is all transformation possible. Like in the fan, you can transform the electric energy into kinetic energy. It can move. In the bulb, you can transfer the electrical energy into light. Yes, in our body, the food we eat, the chemical energy gets transformed into heat and keeps the body warm. So energy can all get transformed. Similarly, this negative emotion energy can be transformed into positive one, but you need the proper equipment, need the tools and techniques, right? EFT is one such simple and easy to use. Immediately you can make use of it right now and start your transformation. But definitely you have to learn to use it properly. And that's true for even our so simple to use equipments like electric fan and electric light. Yes, there are people who in their own house also will keep playing piano to switch on one light. Yes, they don't know which switch to press so that this will run. So those of that kind will obviously take longer time. But those who spend a little time to clearly remember, register, and use it regularly, just like yoga. It's not enough that you've learned asanas, you learned pranayam, and you did it for 3 months and 2 months, and you are done for the lifetime. No, you need to do it every day, right? So is this just like food? Ek baar kha liya, fir ek week nahi khaya chalega. Then you eat only once a week. Doesn't happen. Doesn't work well. Doesn't make you healthy. Yes, running, jogging, exercise. 1 month, went to the mountains, and the rest of the year did nothing. Can't keep good health, right? Sleeping, slept at a stretch for 24 hours and then keep awake. Doesn't work. So also is your emotions. They are there all the time. They are integral part of you. They will be there in everything you say and do and think. You may not have acknowledged them, you may not have recognized them, but they are there. And they are actually for you to make good use of. They are not there to harm you. They are not there to take away your energy or your responsibility from you. They are there to subserve you. And this is what emotional freedom technique can make you do. Okay, so just I think 1 or 2 more slides. There's something in the chat. They try to scare people. Yes, when they sense fear in them and not sure. Very true. We unnecessarily feel scared of dogs. Animals are very, very sensitive to it. Very true. So after Aristotle, let's see what's there more. Okay, this is just to say that how come I'm able to talk and say of all these things? Because these are my forte. I'm definitely into Sankhya Yoga. I don't need to tell you this. There are 2 other techniques that I do, TAT and Ho'oponopono. Along with Vritti Changing Technique is really EFT applied to yoga. Emotional freedom technique, you will find that is mostly used for working only on the affective domain. I learned this technique while I was at the Yoga Institute. This is just to pay respect to all the people who have influenced me and made me what I am today. This is just to pay respect to all of them. In my journey of being a school student and teacher and principal, and even after retiring, I'm continuing to associate with the examination board of the school. My yoga journey began more than 33 years ago when, as I said, I also did the course really for personal development, but teaching was always my passion, and teaching was always a way for me to learn. So I started teaching it and grew to be representing Yoga Institute in many ways, contributing to a lot of research. In fact, one of the books many of you must be using. So, can I switch? Yoga for Children, the Teacher's Handbook. This is a compilation out of my teaching experience of yoga to children when I was in a school, when I was a school teacher. And that's how this book came into existence. This is everything written in this book has been tried, used, tested, and then mentioned here. So that's where my writing work began. And then, of course, other writing I did. Recently, I have published my third book, the first one being the Practical Sankhya, part 1. There are 3 more parts to come of it. 2 other books I do not have a hard copy of. I worked with them in the pandemic and I haven't ordered a hard copy. Published by Notion Press. Both are on this technique. EFT used as Vritti Changing Technique for practice of Yama and Niyama. The part 1 is Yama with VCT and part 2 is Niyama with VCT. My third book on VCT and this same topic is on Pratipaksha Bhavna and VCT. The content is ready. I hope in a couple of months I should be able to publish that too. So why I'm telling you this? Because even in Ashtanga Yoga, you all know Eightfold Path of Yoga. It is integrating all these 3. Yama and Niyama. You must read, if you haven't, Institute's book.
Ma'am, the cover
Guide
is
to
not
Yoga
very
Meditation.
visible.
Guide to Yoga Meditation, you're aware of?
We cannot see the book. I cannot see the name at all.
Guide to Yoga Meditation.
Guide to Yoga Meditation. Okay, ma'am.
This book is actually on Eightfold Path of Yoga. It clearly tells you that Yama and Niyama are for emotional balance. Then Asana and Pranayama are for physical and physiological balance. So the affective domain is first attended to, then the psychomotor domain, and then comes Pratyahara and Dharana, which is for the cognitive domain, where the mind is brought under your control. And what we do is we attend to the mind and we forget the rest. Meditation, मेरे को yoga करना है, straight away meditation करना है. When meditation is even beyond the cognitive. It is when all these 3, the physical existence is well integrated and under your control, then only the next step, the dhyan and the samadhi, is possible, is to go beyond this hubbub of external activities. And that is why education of the affective domain is very, very important. I want to tell you this little part of the story of my life before I come to this next slide. While at the institute, I completed my course, and I remember at the end of the course, 7 months when I completed, Dr. Jaydev was talking to us. We were 5 of us who completed on the same day, 31st of December, 1986. And we were all there to take his blessings. We were feeling bad that from tomorrow, no more classes to go to. And Dr. Jaydev was asking us, what do you want to do next? So what I said was that initially when I did the 7-day camp, I tasted a sip of nectar. So I wanted the whole cup. So I did the 7 months teachers training course. So now having got the cup of nectar, I find there's an ocean here. So I want to dive now. And truly speaking, I'm only diving into that ocean, still finding more and more treasure. And ever since then, there has never been a time that I'm not doing something or the other with the Yoga Institute. I have always been associated with some projects or the other, and deeply connected. As long as doctor was there, there was much more interaction. Now also, at least I continue to take the 2-year class on Sankhya. Not so much because of any other reason, but I have super elderly parents. My parents are 91 and 98. They're bedridden, so I am their caretaker. So it doesn't give me much freedom to move out. In this pandemic, when people also could not move out, it came as a blessing for me. And I learned this technological hurdle that I had. I overcame that, learned to use Zoom and these other things, that I can take the classes. And that's how my course that I designed, whether on Sankhya, whether on VCT or on Pratipaksha Bhavna, everything started getting materialized. So in my journey, interacting with doctor to conduct so many various camps, etc., writing of these books and conducting various classes, one thing I very often heard Dr. Jaydev say, and particularly to me, because when I was working with the children's material, so how to get the philosophy of yoga, the thinking of yoga, the attitude of yoga across to the children, you have to be creative. Yes, use anything and everything possible. His one statement to me always was, anything and everything that helps you to come to a balanced state, that helps you to remain in a balanced state, is a yoga technique. Yes. So I was liberated with this statement. So I used to use a hell lot of things. You will see in this book, so many different activities have been done. You all are aware of Mr. Desai's games and how good and how effective they are in communicating the concepts. I think the two of us were best of friends. He says that I want to be in your profession. If I could help it, I would be a teacher. And we would, at one time, he had met with an accident, and for 3 months he was in plaster. So he was staying at the Yoga Institute. And that was kind of my treat time. Whenever I could get time, I would reach and run early to the Yoga Institute and spend whatever time possible with him. And that was also the time when I was writing this book. I remember discussions with him. I would say, Mr. Desai, you will see that a lot of his games are there in the book. I want some activity which will compel children to sit and do. I want to give instruction to them to play that game while lying down, because a lot of children have this habit of reading while lying down. Yes, which is not the right thing, not yogic at all. So that is what I wanted to do. And so Can you design a game for that? So fine, he was very happy. The next time when I go, he will be ready with some idea. And he will have already created something out of some paper. And I would try it. So I said, if it makes me, while I'm lying down and doing it, but it just, while in order to do that game, I'm compelled to sit down, then it will serve my purpose. Out of that, if you have known, there is one game called chocolates. How many chocolates? There is. You'll find it in the bookstore. It requires you to fold the paper in such a manner that there are definite number of chocolates as required on the top fold. Yes, each of the fold has number of brown dots on it. Yes, that was the game he designed when I gave him this as a task. What I'm wanting to say is that we can, and this was an excellent way of channelizing emotion. So is this a yogic technique? It very much is. What I want to establish for you is treat this technique that you're about to do now also as a yogic technique. Are you ready to do it? Yes, we must find out first whether it works for us or not. Okay. So you all know that emotions and breathing are deeply connected. When your mind is in a super cool mood, you've done a good meditation, or you've been on a nice hill station and had a nice time, how is your breathing? It's very nice, beautiful, slow, smooth, calm. Just think of that time once when you have experienced that. And that is your best breath, correct? And give it a number 10. Okay. Now, how is it? Is your breathing as good as that just now? Or is it a little less? Something 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, whatever it is. Definitely not 0. We are alive. We are breathing. So whatever is the number that you can give your breath, please write it in the chat. You will need it, because after doing the practice, we will need to verify how much is it and how is it working for us. So please put it in the chat, each one of you, your number that you give to your breath as it is now. Yes, very good. Please put your number in the chat. Very good. One very important thing about this technique is it has very few ifs and buts, very few rules, rather none. But one thing very clearly, it is needed that you have to be absolutely honest with yourself when you're doing this technique. It requires, like, has anyone known about nyasa? It's a type of yoga. Actually, this technique is a nyasa technique, like, wherein you stimulate certain marmasthana, as they are called, sensitive points on the body. And while doing that, you say a certain things. In modern language, one may call them affirmations. Yes, but what we are going to use is not really affirmations, but a certain statement to make. Also, because we are cognitively very active, to silence that, it will interfere with the emotional work that we are going to do. So I want to silence that by having to share a few things. Let me, oh, not this. Recording. Okay. I want you to see some pictures. Let me begin. Okay, I think this is okay. Okay, can you see this slide? 14 Marmasthana to know for VCT. Okay, there are 14 points that we will be using. I just want you to get a little familiar with it. You don't have to remember, because you have to just do as I do and say as I say. Right? I will describe this point on the side of the palm as karate chop point. Okay, and this is the first point that we will be using, and this is the last point, a tender spot, I'll refer to it, which is where you wear your badge. Yes, a pin that you are wearing, or a badge or a brooch. Yes, on the left shoulder where there's a soft spot. So these are the first 2 points. Okay. Next is on the face. Okay. Next are the 5 points on the face. We will be using the tips of the first 2 fingers for tapping all those points in a rhythmic manner. Rhythm is quite in tune with your affective domain. So the first point is the beginning of eyebrow, I'll call this point. The second point is end of eyes. The third point is below the eyes, the edge of the cheekbone. Okay, tips of the first 2 fingers. Then the third point is with one hand we will use here, below the nose. And then in the chin groove, not the chin, but the chin groove. Okay. Then the next one. Sorry. Yeah. The next 3 points are these. Below the collarbone, there are these 2 bones jutting out here, just below that. That's the next point. And then below the armpits, not in the armpits, but below. So you can tap on both sides, or you can tap on one side. It's okay. You can do like this also, or you can tap on both the sides also. And then the next point is below your bust, on the lower ribs. So I'll refer to that point as lower ribs, but in front. Okay. Just to familiarize you with the names that I will be using while we tap, so that you don't get distracted by it. Then the next point is the junction of nail and skin on the side of the thumb. Then similar point, junction of nail and skin on the side of the forefinger. Next will be same junction of nail and skin on the side of the middle finger. We don't tap the ring finger, we leave that out. And we tap the little finger. Similar point, junction of nail and skin on the side of the little finger. Okay. And finally, we will come back to karate chop a number of times. And finally, the tender spot when it is over. The whole 1 round consists of 2 cycles. The first is to stimulate and get the negative energy loosened, available, the blocks to be removed. And the second is to convert it into the positive one, whatever you choose. So first is an acknowledgement cycle, or for removal of the negative. And the second is the choice cycle, which is for installing the energy in the way you want it. Having to show you this, what I have shown you are glimpses and illustrations from my book. Okay. So are we ready? Thank you, Daman. What you will have to do is a few of you will will have to keep your audios on because I'll need a rhythm just to make sure that everyone is getting, because sometimes there's an internet lapse and I might think, yes, you've done it, you've got it, but you may not have. And I will be very happy if all of you keep your videos on so that I can see that you are tapping the points appropriately. Okay, so it will be of help. And sit in a manner that I can see your upper torso. Yes.
Is it right hand or left hand?
That doesn't matter, whichever is convenient for you. In between also, if you change, it's perfectly all right. Yes, I said there are very few restrictions in this technique. There are, it's very really free and very brief time it takes and simple it is. Okay, fine. As many of you can keep your videos on, it will be good. And who all are keeping the audios on? Yeah, Beena, I can see, Daman, Poonam, very well, fine. Even if 3-4 of you, very good, Kennedy. Yes, so I can make sure that everyone is reaching. Now, just repeat after me. Do this rhythmic tapping. Yeah, Valona, you want to say something before we begin? All right. Tap.
I had a question about the breathing
Yes.
number. I didn't get the question you asked for the breathing number. If I don't assign one, then I won't have one at the end.
Correct. I do it right now. I'll tell you again. I asked you to recall a time when you have just done a very good meditation or you've been to a nice scenic environment where you're feeling really peaceful, calm, quiet, and your breathing is the best breath that you have known. So give that breath 10 points and then compare your breathing as it is just now. How close to it or how far from it you feel just now? Is it 10 on 10, 9 on 10, 8 on 10? What?
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Varuna. But I'm glad that you were concerned. Okay, yes. So put your number down so you'll have something to compare. Now repeat after me, everyone. Even though I'm not breathing very well.
I'm not breathing very well.
We needed it to know our breathing before we say this. We have to be honest, okay? Even though I'm not breathing very well, say it again.
Even though I'm not breathing
very well.
I deeply and completely.
I deeply and completely.
I deeply and completely
Love.
Forgive.
Forgive.
And accept myself.
and
Accept myself.
Just a moment. For your clarity, I'm writing this statement down because we are going to repeat this statement very often. Continue. So,
Even though
I'm not breathing very well.
I'm
not breathing very well.
I deeply and completely
I deeply and completely
love, forgive,
forgive
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
Even though I'm not breathing very well.
I'm not
breathing
breathing
very well.
I deeply and completely
I
deeply
and
and
completely
love,
love,
Forgive
and accept myself.
myself.
and accept myself.
Tap the beginning of eyebrow point. Same rhythm, maintain it, and say not breathing very well.
Not breathing very
Even
well.
though I'm not breathing very well.
Tap the end of eye point. Same rhythm, and say not breathing very well.
Not breathing very well.
Breathing very well.
Tap this point below the eyes and say not breathing very well.
Not
Not breathing very well.
Tap below the nose and say not breathing very well.
Not breathing very well.
well.
Tap this point in the chin groove and say not breathing very well.
Not breathing very well.
Tap this point below the collarbone and say not breathing very well.
Not breathing very well.
Tap the point below the armpits. You can do it on one side also, no problem. And say not breathing very well.
Not breathing very well.
Tap this point in front on the lower ribs and say not breathing very well.
Not breathing very well.
Tap the junction of nail and skin on the side of thumb and say not breathing very well.
Not breathing very well.
Four fingers, similar point, say not breathing very well.
Not breathing very well.
Tap similar point on the middle finger and say not breathing very well.
Not breathing very well.
Tap similar point on the little finger and say not breathing very well.
Not breathing very well.
Tap the karate chop point and say still. I deeply and completely.
I deeply and completely
Love,
love,
forgive,
forgive,
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
I choose to
I choose to
breathe slow, breathe slow,
slow,
smooth,
smooth,
and long.
and long.
And I deeply and completely
And I deeply and completely
love,
love,
forgive,
forgive,
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
I choose to breathe
I choose to breathe
slow,
slow,
smooth,
smooth,
and long.
and long.
And I deeply and completely
And I deeply and completely
love,
love,
forgive,
forgive,
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
I choose to breathe
I choose to breathe
slow,
slow,
smooth,
smooth,
and long.
and long.
And I deeply and completely
And I deeply and completely
love,
love,
forgive,
forgive,
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
Tap the beginning of eyebrow point and say slow breath.
Slow breath,
Tap the end of eye point and say smooth breath.
smooth
Continue, Maria.
breath,
No problem. Yeah, just continue. Yeah. Below the eyes, long breath.
long breath,
Below the nose, slow breath.
slow breath,
Chin groove, smooth breath.
smooth breath,
Below the collarbone, long breath.
long breath,
Below the armpit, slow breath.
slow breath,
On the lower ribs in front, smooth breath.
smooth breath,
Junction of nail and skin on the side of thumbs, long breath.
long breath,
Four fingers, slow breath.
slow breath,
Middle finger, smooth breath.
smooth breath,
Little finger, long breath.
long breath,
Karate chop. And I deeply and completely
I deeply and completely
love,
love,
forgive,
forgive,
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
Massage the tender spot on the shoulder as you take a deep breath in. Gently press and hold the point as you breathe out long from the mouth. Breathing out long is like a closure. Check your breathing again and see what number you would give your breath now. Is it the same or is it different?
It's different.
Please put it there and compare it with your earlier number you've written down. Oh, lots of nines. Good. Good, good. 7 to 9. Wow. Great. I am very happy. A lot of you have seen a rise in the number, means more closer to the better breathing. But I am more concerned if there is anyone whose number has dropped. Anyone? Okay, 7 to 9
So
is a good
my
thing.
so my breathing became faster than when I started, because I generally, even when I'm anxious, my breath does seem to be kind of even.
Okay,
So, but I don't think it's a bad thing though.
No, fast breathing is definitely not an improvement. It's like dipping down a little. Slow, smooth, and long is going towards better breath. Okay. So, Vrinda, do you mind coming on the screen?
Yeah. I'm on the screen.
I would need to help you.
No, my breathing is just fine. It's like I was at a 9 before. Yeah. So I just said, I said it's not a problem.
Sure.
I just said it's faster and that's fine too. Yes.
No, faster is not really fine. If you allow me, I want to show you what can be done with this technique.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it was a 9 and it's a 8. You know, still.
So it should not. It is a good sign to the extent that the technique works for you. If there is a shift in just one round, doing it first time, if you've already experienced some shift, better breathing means better emotions, right? Better emotional state. And if our breathing is dipping, why does it dip when you do this technique? Because your awareness is raising. There is some suppressed feeling which you may not have been able to attend to in doing various things, which happens. Very often we curb our thought, our feelings and emotions in order to, attend to what we have to do in the day. But the first opportunity it can get, it wants to be attended to. Yes, like the soda water bottle. You can press in a lot of fizz in it, but the moment it gets a chance to come up, if there is an opening, it will just spill over. So a dip means that something, some emotion is coming up for healing. So is there any particular thought or feeling in your mind?
Lots.
Okay, no, I don't want to force you to say it, because in a group it's difficult, but for the sake of learning of everyone. So this is a physical change that your breathing has either improved or become a little not so good. It's a physical change. Breathing is a physical activity. Yes. And we did the whole work on the physical part. But we know that this physical part activity, chale vate chale chittam, the Hatha Yoga says that, right? And we know that it is showing the way our mind is functioning. What is required to be done is to tap on this itself. The next thing, Vrinda, please do it with me. And actually, I want everyone to participate, but then that would delay our break. Is that okay? Or shall we come back after the break and do it?
No, ma'am, it's okay if we can delay the break for a while. It's for a little while. It is fine.
Okay, yes, about 5-10 minutes it will take. So you are going to learn one more thing, where we do a group tapping, and we all will tap for Vrinda. Vrinda, it's okay if we contribute to your better breath? All of us want to. Okay?
Thank you.
Without getting into the nitty-gritties, Brenda, you will not do the first step. Only the rest of us will do. Okay? And how we will contribute to her? We will say that I am Brenda before we start tapping. Okay? So everyone else will do, only Brenda will not do this first step. Okay? Yes, I need a few of you to keep your audios on. Please, yeah, volunteer.
Me too.
Yeah. After me. Even though I am Brenda.
I am Brenda.
I deeply and completely
I deeply and completely
love, forgive,
forgive,
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
Brenda, you also join now. Even though
Even though
my breathing has become fast,
My
breathing
has become fast.
I deeply and completely
I
Deeply and completely
love,
love,
forgive,
forgive,
and accept myself.
and
and
accept
accept myself.
Even though
even though
Even though
I'm breathing fast,
I'm
I am breathing fast.
I deeply and completely
Deeply and completely
love,
love,
forgive,
forgive,
and accept myself.
and
and accept myself.
Have the okay, no, one more time.
even though
Even though
I'm breathing fast,
I'm
breathing fast,
I deeply and completely
deeply and completely
love,
love,
forgive,
forgive,
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
At the beginning of eyebrow point, this breathing fast.
this
Breathing fast.
Eye end point, this breathing fast.
This breathing fast.
Below the eyes, this breathing fast.
This breathing fast.
Below the nose, this breathing fast.
This breathing fast.
Chin groove, this breathing fast.
This breathing fast.
Below the collarbone, this breathing fast.
this
This
breathing
breathing fast.
Below the armpits, this breathing fast.
this
Breathing fast.
On the lower ribs in front, this breathing fast.
This breathing fast.
Thumbnail, this breathing fast.
This breathing fast.
Forefinger, this breathing fast.
This breathing fast.
Middle finger, this breathing fast.
Breathing fast.
Little finger, this breathing fast.
Breathing fast.
This breathing
Breathing fast.
Karate chop. Still, I deeply and completely
I
Deeply and completely
love,
love,
forgive,
forgive,
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
I choose to breathe
I
choose to breathe
my optimum best,
my optimum best.
and I deeply and completely
and
I deeply and completely
love,
love,
forgive,
forgive,
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
I choose to breathe
I choose to breathe
at a pace that is healthy for me,
at a pace that is healthy for me.
and I deeply and completely
and
And I deeply and completely
love,
love,
forgive,
forgive,
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
I choose to be
I
I
choose
choose to be
breathing comfortably,
breathing
comfortably.
and I deeply and completely
And I deeply and completely
love,
love,
forgive,
forgive,
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
At the beginning of eyebrow point, breathing comfortably,
Breathing
comfortably.
My endpoint, breathing my best.
Breathing my
Breathing my best.
Below the eyes, my optimal breath.
My optimal breath.
Below the nose, breathing comfortably.
Breathing
Breathing comfortably.
In groove, breathing my best.
my best.
Below the collarbone, my optimal breath.
My optimal best.
Below the armpit, breathing comfortably.
Breathing comfortably.
On the lower ribs, breathing my best.
Breathing my best.
Thumbnail, my optimal breathing.
My optimal breathing.
Forefinger, breathing comfortably.
Breathing comfortably.
Middle finger, breathing my best.
Breathing my best.
Little finger, breathing optimally.
Breathing optimally.
Karate chop. And I deeply and completely.
Deeply and completely.
Love,
Love,
forgive, and accept myself.
and accept myself.
Massage the tender spot on the shoulder as you take a deep breath in. Gently press and hold the point as you breathe out long from the mouth. When we do this closure and we breathe out, we have stopped being Vrinda. Okay? While you were doing the technique, you were Vrinda. Now you have stopped being Vrinda. Yes, Vrinda, you have anything to say?
I stopped being Vrinda too.
You're breathing comfortably?
I'm feeling very good. In fact, I think I felt the whole collective. It's so odd. That was like part of my affirmation, which I have just not been able to relate to in so many months. And I think that collective thing just brought it home.
You have earned that blessing, my girl. So don't worry.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, it was, I'm sure all of you feel that was our pleasure that we could do this.
Thank you so much to the group, really. Thank you.
Excellent, that's it.
Thank you.
I also see Suzanne and Daman having to write that you're having headache and goosebumps. We will come back after the break. And if 1 minute, but how is the headache now after working with Vrinda? Is it just as bad?
It's still there. Suddenly, as I was doing it.
It happens. I'll explain that.
That's
that should
fine.
be your question you should ask. And it's a good
I'm sure I'll
opportunity
be
to
alive
explain
after the break.
After the break, I can address that. So it is 7:07. We come back at 7:20 now.
Yeah, 7:20.
7:20 would be right.
Yeah.
Now. Okay. So
Right.
we can close our videos now and come back at 7:20 and continue. So good release. Release is what this will give you freedom. A lot of people think that emotional freedom technique, I haven't switched on my video, sorry. Emotional freedom technique is not having emotion at the end. No, it's not like that. The whole idea is that emotion is an integral part of us. It should contribute to us. It should be of use to us. It should be beneficial for us and not harm us and damage us such a way that we say that emotions are bad. No. Freedom from emotion means freedom from being in the grip of emotion, but having a grip on emotion. Get the difference? Yes. So having to release is like the fizz gone out of the whole thing, which is not of use. What is of use is there with us and we properly make use of. Just like the energy of the wind and the ocean. It can be destructive. Forest fire. It can be destructive. But that same energy, if properly harnessed, it is of great use. The fire in the forest is a wastage, destructive. But that same fire, when properly managed, like in our gas stoves, it can cook our food. So that's how this technique is. And yes, we had two people, one having headache and one having goosebumps. Okay. Like to speak, Daman?
So I had the goosebumps when we actually said we are going to do all for for her. So I think I actually felt the energy, like like an acknowledgement for her. And I can also see myself having a sensitivity when when the focus is on one person, how it feels. So I think it was the energy which kind of gave me that goosebump. It's like I felt very much we all are on the same boat. We all are focusing and channelizing the energy. So it felt very good. So it was not something in a bad way.
No, nothing bad, but even good things need to be shared.
It was like an overwhelming energy kind of just rushed through you. Even though we were doing it for Vrinda, I felt the blessing towards me too. So
excellent.
That's why.
Excellent. See what a power we have when we can contribute. And what great thing did we do? How much time, how much energy did it take? Hardly. We just delayed our break by 5 minutes. That's all. And so much it could do. Just think, in this period of lockdown, so many people are suffering because of lack of space, lack of release, lack of physical activity, and lack of being out from a toxic environment. I'm sorry, a lot of our homes can be toxic. Yes, being around with the same people all the 24 hours and day after day and for 2 years can really take a toll on you, can make you mad. The number of people I have done one-on-one counseling ever since the lockdown is not a joke. Never ever it has been so many. And I'm only thankful to God that I could be a means to help out so many people and equip them with something that they can use for a lifetime. So it is worth that much investment in yourself to learn this technique properly, do it in a manner that it is of use to you. It's with you all the time. The energy is with you all the time. But for you to make use of it positively is what this technique is all about. Yeah, Beena, you want to say something?
A small question, really.
Sure.
So what I put out in the chat box when I said I felt a sense of release, and this was when we were doing the group activity for Vrinda. So would it be like a release for her, or is it something personal for me, is the question.
Good, very good question, very good question. You people are training to be counselors, finally. The course is about that. So it is very, very important that we know what we are doing and we know the effect and impact, the scope of its effect. When we are tapping as Vrinda, we all said, I am Vrinda, and then we did the tapping, correct?
Yes.
So definitely we are kind of, channeling the energy towards her. But at the same time, you're doing the tapping on your own body. You are speaking those words which are making meaning to you. So it is going to have at least a calming down, neutralizing effect for you. At the same time, in case whatever you are tapping has any kind of resonance with you, say in case there was a disrupted breathing for you, it may not have been just fast breathing, but any kind of disruption was there for you. Even that would show up, means it would get more disrupted. And be wanting to heal. It is possible that by the time you finish the tapping, that disruption would increase and it would also settle down, because we are choosing the good optimal breath also. So in having to help Vrinda, you could have helped your own self also. Okay. You would have discovered and become aware of something that could have probably erupted later and you wouldn't know what to do with it. In helping somebody else, you have solved your own problem even before you come to know of it.
Yeah, actually, can I just say something?
Of course.
So now that the last point that you made, that I may have not been aware of something, and that could have come up and probably caused the sense of negativity release. Yes, there was like a couple of people, other people in mind when I was doing it, that I could relate to this, wanting to release the negative emotions. And it just came up as I was tapping away intensely. So it is possible that now that you've mentioned it, that it was probably a issue or a issue that I have with a person. And it was like, bringing that energy towards that person as well as Vrinda. So yeah, what you've said perfectly answers my question. Thank you.
Thank you. It works on the surface. Whatever is on top, it removes that first. And whatever is revealed below, then it works on that. So you need to tap on that. Then whatever comes up below that, you need to tap on that. In a group scenario, we may not be able to go much deeper. But then when we're doing one-to-one, you can actually go down to the root cause of things. Those of you who know a little bit of Sankhya, you know that in Sankhya, we talk of Satkaryavad. That whatever is the effect that is manifested and visible just now has a cause to it. And that cause also is an effect of another cause. And when you go down to that cause, you find that it is also got still another cause. That also is an effect. So there's a cause of the 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 cause, and the root cause comes out to be the three gunas. Right? Sattva, Rajas, Tamas is the root cause of all pain in this world, is what Sankhya says. So this technique works really in that manner. So now, after having to work on Yama, Niyama and Pratipaksha Bhavna, once I have a group of people who have taken over and spread that, I'm going to get onto my Sankhya again and work with Sankhya and VCT. How Satkaryavad can be worked at with Vritti Changing Technique. Fine. Do we still have headache? I think that was Suzanne.
Yes, Suchitra, it got better because I had lunch in the break. So it could have either been because I hadn't eaten anything since morning, but the headache was very, very strong around my sinuses up here. And maybe something was, I don't know, was surfacing up as you explained. But it has got much better, but it is still there. Very slight soft pain around my.
Before we go ahead and answer more questions, shall we work on pain? Because pain is one thing. I always say, those who have learned EFT with me, or if you have learned EFT at all, and pain is one thing that a person knowing EFT should never ever suffer. Absolutely any kind of pain. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. You don't have to suffer pain at all. pain is one feeling that you can immediately remove and get free from with this technique. So any one of you having any pain, anytime, anywhere, at least just now, if you're experiencing any kind of pain.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
This is
Anita, tell
Anita. Yes, I have actually a chronic pain from many years. It's in my pectoral muscles and at the back of my shoulder on the right side. It just
Okay.
refuses to go. It's been more than 5 or 6 years now.
Oh.
So it aggravates, it goes down a little, but it never disappears. So yeah.
If you take some one-on-one sessions, then we can go deep into it, because
Okay.
it's such a long-standing pain.
Okay.
Just now also we will tap on it, but be wary. It can aggravate before it goes away.
Okay.
Because it has to come out, no?
Right.
Like if your house, if you're renovating,
yeah,
first it will look dirty. Everything gets spilled out. So be prepared to give yourself time after the session,
okay,
at least to bring it back to a little bearable state in case it gets aggravated.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Fine. So just now, whatever is the level of pain, yes, Shamin, you are saying you have mid back ache. So all those with whatever pain you have, give it a number. How bad is that pain? If 10 is the worst, what is the number of your pain? Okay. If you want, you can put it in the chat. If you want, you can write it somewhere and keep. Fine. Very well. So what we will work on, really speaking on one-on-one when I do, then it has to be very pointed statement that this is the pain and this is the nature of pain, etc. But at least in general, I want you to know how you can work on pain. Any kind of pain, at least this much. Even after this one session, you should be able to do the steps of the whole thing, the 2 rounds, what to say and where to tap. I have shared one Word file with on Sonal, right? Sonali and Sonal.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
share
ma'am.
with you all. Okay. Come. We will not become Anita or Suzanne just now. We will all tap as ourselves and see what happens, because everyone's, not just body, in life is got some pain or the other. Okay. So if it does come up, I will at least give you some tips that you can work with. Okay. And otherwise you might find lots of videos on my YouTube channel, which are recipes of this kind of what to say for various things. Let's work on pain. If you want, you can recall some recent pain. Try not to get into so many type. And let's see how we can contribute to others. If we do not have pain just now, let the other person be healing. You can also choose to say, even though I am, somebody can choose to be Veena, somebody can choose to be Suzanne, and somebody can choose to be Shamin. Yes. So each one of you can do that one step, or you can just tap as yourself. Ready? You can do this one step on your own. Even though I am so-and-so, I deeply and completely love, forgive, and accept myself. Okay. Each one of you on your own, and those who are doing it for themselves, just get into the rhythm. Repeat after me now. Even though I need some audios on. Some couple of you, please keep your audios on. Yeah. Even though I have this pain.
Even though I have this pain,
I deeply and
completely
love, forgive,
forgive
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
Even though
Even though
I'm suffering this pain.
I'm suffering this pain,
I deeply and completely
I deeply and completely
love,
love,
forgive,
forgive,
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
Even though I have this pain,
Even though I have this pain,
I deeply and completely
I deeply and completely
love,
love,
forgive,
forgive,
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
At the beginning of my point, this pain.
This pain,
My end point, this pain. Below the eyes, this pain.
this pain,
Below the nose, this suffering.
this suffering,
Chin groove, this pain.
this pain,
Below the collarbone, this pain.
this pain,
Below the armpits, this pain.
this pain,
The lower ribs, this suffering.
this suffering,
Thumbnail, this pain.
this pain,
Forefinger, this pain.
this pain,
Middle finger, this pain.
this pain,
Little finger, this suffering.
this suffering.
Karate chop. Still, I deeply and completely
I still completely
love,
love, forgive,
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
I choose to be
I choose to be
free from this pain,
free from this pain,
and I deeply and completely
and I deeply and completely
love,
love,
forgive,
forgive,
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
I choose to be
I choose to be
completely free from this pain,
completely free from this pain,
and I deeply and completely
and I deeply and completely
love,
love,
forgive,
forgive,
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
I choose to be
I choose to be
totally free from this pain,
totally free from this pain,
and I deeply and completely
and I deeply and completely
love,
love,
forgive,
forgive,
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
At the beginning of eyebrow point, free from this pain.
Free from this pain,
Tap the eye end point, completely free from this pain.
completely free from this pain,
Tap below the eyes, totally free from this pain.
totally free from this pain.
Below the nose, let go this pain.
Let go this pain,
Chin groove, completely let go this pain.
completely let go this pain,
Below the collarbone, totally let go this pain.
totally let go this pain.
Below the armpit, let go my hold on this pain.
Let go my hold on this pain,
Of the lower ribs, completely let go my hold on this pain.
completely let go my hold on this pain,
Thumbnail, totally let go my hold on this pain.
totally let go my hold on this pain,
Forefinger, free from this pain.
free from this pain,
Middle finger, completely free from this pain.
completely free from this pain,
Little finger, totally free from this pain.
totally free from this pain.
Karate chop. And I deeply and completely
I deeply and completely
love,
love,
forgive,
forgive,
and accept myself.
and accept myself.
Start the tender spot on the shoulder as you take a deep breath in. Gently press and hold the point as you breathe out long from the mouth. Give your number to the, give number to your pain again. If you want, please describe how you feel now. Yes, Suzanne.
It's very much the same, but in the middle of it, it became very intensified. I felt like everything was centering around here, and then it kind of calmed down to where it was. So
for a couple of minutes, just be with yourself.
Yeah.
Can you understand this point? This bone behind the little finger and behind the extension of the ring finger, between that two bones, there is space where you can place all your 4 fingers.
Yeah.
This is back of palm point, as I call it.
Okay.
Place your palm comfortably and keep tapping that point. And in your mind, repeat, I choose to be free from this pain. Okay, just be with yourself 2 minutes in your mind. I choose to be free from this pain. Okay, keep doing it. Yeah, Veena or Anita, who was that? Anita, I think, who had the pain. Anita, you tell me first.
I think I'm feeling a little more relaxed. So maybe that, holding on tightly is a little lesser. Yeah.
That means this technique can actually help you get rid of that pain for lifetime.
Touch wood if it happens.
Yes,
yeah.
you can. But you'll need to spend some time and energy on doing one-on-one.
Okay.
Because it has a number of related issues underneath.
Yeah. So if a
would have
different
got into it.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. If a thought comes up in my head while I'm doing that, then do I tap using that again?
The next thing that you do.
Okay.
There is a method of doing it. You can do it in between also.
Okay.
But then you have to know and understand and learn the technique properly.
All right. All right.
But otherwise, the next round you do is on that thought.
Okay.
So that's how you get to the cause of the cause of the cause of the cause. That thought is the cause, one of the cause.
Okay.
For that pain. So note it down and can be worked at.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else would like to share? I can see so many people writing their numbers.
Yeah, I can share.
Yeah, Michelle, tell us.
So thank you, Anita, because I had the same issue and I didn't know whether I wanted to share it, but then Anita asked exactly what I was going through. So even I have an injury and I've always suffered from chronic pain on the right shoulder radiating to the neck. So I very happily just flowed along. And during the tapping, I felt like the pain had gone, but there would be like moments where it would shoot up the neck. And just like Suzanne, I felt like a very intense kind of sensation and energy around this area. When we finished the session, just like Anita, I was calm, but the pain is there, but it's not as much. I would say it just went down 2 levels below, but it was still there. Yes. And then what you told Suzanne on this point here. So I'm going to work on that.
Yeah, keep doing that. Anita, you also keep doing that.
Thank you. That was very nice.
And thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
But it can totally go away, believe me. You don't ever have to suffer any pain beyond that. Actually, our non-awareness gets at that pain. But fine, our way of life is not totally sattvic. That will remain away from it. Some tamas, sometime or the other, is going to get it. But you should have a way of removing it. You see, you can't prevent any dust and dirt from coming into the house. You need sunshine and fresh air. So you have to keep your doors and windows open. And along with that, some dust and dirt will come. So you can't shut yourself out. It is important to let it be, only have means of cleaning it. So also is this pain. So you don't have to say, "Ki nahi, pain aaya, yani ki main kuch galat kar rahi hu." No, you're not doing anything wrong. It is inevitable part of our life and living, but we don't have to suffer it. It doesn't have to continue to remain there. At the first opportune time, you never go back to bed with that pain. So today's pain, remove it today. In fact, any kind of stress today before sleeping, whatever irritation or imbalances you may have experienced, should be removed today is the goal of my teaching that basic level, where you learn the entire technique with its nuances. Yeah, Valona, you want to say something?
I have a question, actually. I'm not really sure how to phrase it, and I think you kind of sort of touched on it, but where does the pain come from? Why do we suffer pain? I think is the fundamental question. Is all pain emotional if you don't have an accident?
It has an emotional root.
Emotion. So even if I bumped into something and I have pain, the pain that I'm feeling is an emotional reaction to what happened to me?
Is a feeling, no?
It is.
If it's a feeling,
yes, ma'am,
there is an affective domain working over there. So that feeling part is what we are working on.
So what you're saying, in effect, which you just mentioned, is that pain should never be long lasting.
Doesn't have to.
What a discovery.
What freedom, no? Freedom from pain. Yeah, well, Shameen, you want to say something?
So a couple of questions. One is, they do say, and I
Shameen, I can't hear you, please. Your volume is low.
When I was reading about my mid-back pain, because it's chronic.
I can't still get you. Anybody can hear Shameen?
Can you hear me now?
Can. I am not able to get you.
She's just very soft. She's very soft. Yeah.
She's very soft. Come closer to the mic and speak.
Yeah. Okay. Can you all hear me now?
Yeah, this is better.
Okay. Sorry for my staring into the
no
screen
problem.
in a scary manner. But so when I had read about my mid-back pain, because it's chronic and it doesn't come from any, sports injury or anything of that sort, a lot of the times they said that it has to do with emotional pain. And I think that kind of happens every time I'm in a bit of an emotional stress. I go and contract those muscles. So one thing is to just check with you whether that's correct information. And the second is, I remember when we were doing the different taps, at some point you said pain, some point you said suffering, at some point you said different words. Is there some kind of rationale to those, or it doesn't matter? And what is the rationale? And the second is, if you can tell us which point and why we're doing it, it helps, at least for someone like me, it helps understand it better and maybe even remember it better. Oh, a last third question. Why not the fourth finger?
I can, though it's beyond the purview of a 3-hour session. What you're asking me are all the questions that are answered in detail with proper proofs and practical experience when you do that 12 to 16 hours detailed session. But yes, why not this finger? I want to say right now. Why is this called ring finger? You wear a wedding ring in this, right?
It goes
Why you
straight to the
wear a
heart.
wedding ring in that?
The nerve goes straight to the heart.
Yes, it has got some connection, more or less directly with the heart. It is the power point of emotional energy. Highest emotional energy is available here. So can't tap into something that is going to be too large. Now with this little tapping also that we did, so much as spurts are going on, right? Headache is still there. Some pain has increased. Some disturbing thoughts have come up. If I was to use this, and its use is done differently, the intensity would be too much for us to handle in this kind of a session. So to begin with, this is best to avoid. Also, sometimes when we are doing this tapping, like we did on pain, I did not specify because we were doing it in group. Each one had a different experience of pain in different areas, in different intensity. The nature of pain was also different. So if I was to tap on this, I am sure somebody like Anita, or even as you said after that, Michelle, their pain would have aggravated, or some such terrible memory would have come up that, you know, they would be really disturbed. And I can't leave you after a session disturbed. Yes, you have come to explore a modality. So this is an exploratory session with a little bit of experience, because if you're exploring, you're testing it out. वो test drive करते हैं ना, गाड़ी खरीदने जाते हैं तो. So this is like a test drive. But I've given you more than a test drive, a little bit more, wherein you can actually understand and see that there's so much more than what you have tested. Veena, you had your hand up. Shamin has still your hand up. You want to say something?
No, I had a question. Yeah. So when we are doing about pain, is it only for physical pain, or can we tap for some kind of an emotional pain?
Any kind of pain.
Because that's
physical,
what
mental, emotional, moral, spiritual, adi bhautik, adi devik, adhyatmik, all kinds of pain.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks.
There are a few more slides that I need to show you before we conclude.
Yeah, Suchitra? Suchitra, I just had a quick question again.
Of course, go ahead.
So I understand that the different points would be something that would be for a longer session, but knowing me, I've completely forgotten why it is like at some point it was pain and then it was suffering, and I know I'll get that wrong. Is there something?
What I'm saying, this?
I remember you said at some point it was pain, then you said it was pain. Sorry, not a note.
Yeah, it is the nature of the technique. You have to understand the nuances as to why I say different things.
Yes. Yeah. So that comes in the next one?
Yeah, there are a number of things that are connected, interconnected, I will say.
Okay.
And because, as I said, the emotion is the integral part of our cognitive and psychomotor domain also.
Okay, got it.
All this while, we were just ignoring it.
Okay.
Now, when we start looking at it, we can see that, oh, it has one branch here, one root there.
Okay, got it.
So that's what has to be taken into account.
Okay.
It's not too much, but it's too much for now.
Understood. Okay. Okay. So I'll just check if we can get the recording, because knowing me, I don't remember the words.
No, but you will get a written sheet with all the words.
Perfect. That sounds great. Thank you so much.
Yeah. With respect to the breathing, get the written sheet. There are some people who have been working with this technique just for daily use, or they have worked for 10 sessions at a stretch and healed an issue, and then continuing to practice. There are those others who have done the VCT for Yama, Niyamas, and Pratipaksha Bhavna. So I have a group of about 40 people who have been into it for quite some time. And over a period of time, this is the name they have given to the technique, and I like it. Dimag ka duster. a duster to clean the head. तो दिमाग के अंदर जो भी dust dirt है, to clean that, this is a technique. So I like the name, so I wanted to share it with you. And the concept arose because of this kind of a thinking, that I did refer to it before I came into practicing it with you, that just like our house needs cleaning all the time, you cannot keep it clean, but you can always remove the dirt periodically so that it does not gather together. Now, if the house, if you allow the dust to settle, you know how difficult it is to clean it. Sometimes it will be cleaned, destroying the object on which it has settled. Correct? If it is over a long period of time. In our mind, when the dust settles too much, it sinks into the body. It reflects in the physical, in the physiological, and we get all the psychosomatic diseases. All diseases begin in the mind. So also the health begins in the mind. But once it has come to the physical, the psycho and the soma, you can't just correct it from the psycho. You have to also attend to the soma. The body does need attending to if it has got into the body. But what you can do while you work with that, you also have to prevent any more additional dirt, not just coming in, but definitely not settling in. From the day you learn the technique to use it for yourself, that is the day you will start reducing the amount of mental dust that sinks in and settles in and escape your attention. You will start becoming more and more aware, and you will keep on removing even some of the previous collection that you may have had of things which you thought may be used sometime, but they are only causing problem. Yes, so we can remove that. So just like our body also needs cleaning every time, and so also our thought, speech, action, and feelings. Okay, so we must clean our mind every day. So, okay, those of you who are scientifically inclined would be interested in knowing this. And I still want to tell you, even if you're not scientifically inclined, because this is very important. There is a hormone in our body called adrenaline. It is commonly known as emergency hormone or fight, flight, and freeze hormone. It comes into action in times of emergency. Means what you consider, what you perceive, your mind perceive as an emergency. Say there is some tiger has come in front of you. What will you do? If you are the fighting kind, you might probably fight it. You'll run away. Yes? Or with such shock, you might just freeze. All in all, the thing is that it's an emergency and you need to do something drastic. And for that, you need your larger muscles of the arms and the legs to get more blood supply and less blood supply to your internal organs. Your eyes will become wide open, your hair can stand, you will be in an excitatory state. As long as this hormone remains in your blood, that is what you will fix. A small amount of it is always present in our blood. It is necessary for our normal functioning. But when it increases that minimal amount needed, let me tell you one more thing about this hormone, how effective. Okay, I'm just taking it for granted, I shouldn't. Hormone, the way they work is, this hormone is released by a gland which is on top of the kidney. It's called the adrenal gland. Okay, there are two kidneys, and on top of both the kidneys, like a cap, these two glands sit. And when this happens, this emergency happens, they release the hormone directly into the blood. And then the blood keeps flowing throughout the body. Along with that, the hormone also goes to all the parts of the body. So as long as this hormone remains in the body, whichever part it is reaching, and it has to do, like if it is reaching the eyes, it will keep the eyes dilated. It's reaching our skin, our larger muscles, it will keep the blood vessels dilated there. It is going to the internal organs, the lungs and the liver and the pancreas and the intestine and all that, it will be constricted, the blood vessels. When the blood reaches the kidney, just like it goes to all the parts, it will also go to the kidney. So whatever hormone is there in the blood that goes to the kidney will remove it and dispose it with the urine. And that one spurt that was released in the blood takes 3 days to be removed. And how often in the day do you raise such emergency alarms, tiny ones? And each spurt requires 3 days to remove. So imagine how excitatory you are remaining, unnecessarily rajasic and tamasic affected. How can you be sattvic? In spite of that, if you are able to experience some amount of sattva, I think you are just lucky. So, after this knowledge, and you know how effective this hormone is, one part, one drop to 30 million drops, it can still have an effect. So in the 5 liters of blood, that one spurt is more than enough to keep you excitatory for 3 days. And in a day, there are at least 20 times there are small irritants, small reactions, small imbalances that we go through. This technique will make you aware of them also and will help you to get rid of it also. So there is the scientific study done on it that it really keeps that into balance. Just the right amount as needed in the body if you regularly keep using the technique. Yeah, Veena, you want to say something?
I was going to ask you a question. Maybe I've got my answer. What I was going to ask was, in terms of good positive emotions, it's not the adrenaline or the cortisol. I got the answer. I was like, what happens when cortisol? Anyways, I think
this is it.
The drift.
I was coming to it.
Yeah, yeah. All right, thank you.
The good emotion are under the effect of amygdala, the hormone released by this little gland which is present near the brain. But we are not exciting it enough. We are exciting and stimulating that other fellow. Okay, let me go back. Yeah. This is one of my students who shared this after she was into this technique, after doing that detailed basic technique, and she was trying to practice it regularly, not very successfully. But in spite of that irregular thing, that little thing that she was doing, she said, I have to tell you this. I said, okay, what is it? And this is what she shared on WhatsApp with me, that I was feeling helpless when I came to you. Having learned this and having to use it so sparingly, in 2 weeks' time, I am feeling comfortable, and at least I am sure that I can tackle things. I can handle myself. I felt so good that I could be a means to empower you to take charge of yourself, is what I told her. So such beautiful sharing. I thought it is good to tell you also. Though tough to get out of all such old habits that she says I have, but frankly, just the awareness has set in. The first thing that this technique will do is to make you aware. Like you became aware. Suzanne is saying something is getting stuck here. She still tried to push it away by saying that, no, it's probably I was hungry, so it is happening. Hungry was one of the cause. But after the hunger was satiated, if the pain was due to that, soon after it should have gone. No, it has got collected. Hunger was also one of the cause, but there is more to it, which is in your mind, which needs to be worked at. Okay. I don't think I need to show you any of these videos, which are testimonial of some of the students who have been practicing this technique. You people have your own experiences. You don't need to listen to those from the others. And thank you, Veena. I got to show this slide earlier. Amygdala is another positive emotion hormone are secreted by this, and it stimulates the sattvic state. So if we reduce the effect of adrenaline, then we can see the effect of the hormone released here. Otherwise, we are at loss. That is very excitatory and suppresses the effect of this, because that is dealing with emergency. Yes, the best of the thing that you may be doing in an emergency, you have to leave it and attend to the urgent and important at that point of time. In fact, urgent and unimportant though. But if it is an emergency, it has to be attended to. It's like that. Yes. What VCT can do, this is what I would generally talk, but I had given you a form to fill. And some of you had shared some of the things that you want to work on. So yes, you will find some of the things that you have written have been addressed here. VCT can do all this that you have expressed that you would like to work upon. I would request everyone to fill up the form. There are only 16 forms that have been filled so far. It would have been nice if you had filled up all. You can still do it. Okay, I don't want to sit reading this slide. This is some of the people who have been helped with the VCT. These are some of the negative emotions that people have expressed and worked at, and they have chosen the positive ones to replace out of this. Kindly excuse me for a moment. So all of these can be worked at. We do this as an activity in our detailed session, where we pick on these and replace them with this. And this list is kind of unending. This is hardly an exhaustive list, not at all. All of you do take some water. You've done too much of tapping for a short session like 3 hours. Please do drink some. These two ladies have been so greatly helped by this technique. Both of them have done the basic course, then they did the master's course, and they also are doing the Pratipaksha Bhavna and VCT course at the advanced level. And they also so strongly feel that this should reach each and everyone unnecessarily via suffering, pain that we can totally avoid, pain of all kinds. And they have benefited greatly. Their life has turned around. and they feel empowered with this technique. Both are yoga teachers, and they continue to use this with the background knowledge of yoga very, very well. The yoga knowledge and understanding helps you to make rightful choices. Your yoga practice also improves as a result of doing this. So they feel so strongly and they want to support this program, and therefore I put them here. Yeah, this technique can be done anytime. It can be done anywhere. Once you've gone through the basic course, you will realize that how it is possible. Is there anything else? Yeah. For deep cleaning, a therapy kind of a session, at least it requires 10 sessions to really complete it. And for that, you could contact me also. Even for the other course, it's fine. But their goodness you want to spread. So I said, okay, let them come through you too. Any more questions? Yeah, please unmute yourself and ask. Yeah, Kumi, I can see you put a hand.
Yeah, not a question. I just wanted to share something. It really helps me with anything that makes me anxious, especially with public speaking, when I'm before a training. So I tap, and then all of a sudden, this is one thing I've been using for a long time, ever since I learned. So just wanted to share, it really works. Thank you again.
Yes, it is very effective. Little children, 5 and 6 years old, they use it and get out of their difficulties. I must tell you about this child, 9th standard girl. Her mother had learned this with me and she was very greatly using it. And one day she brought her daughter and showed me her term report. And she had her marks in 20s. A girl in 9th standard, but I know that she is a good student. I mean, she has good memory, she understands things well, good grasping power. So I was a little surprised. But I said, okay, this is a fact, So she started coming to me and I was working with her. It was, I think, just a second turn or something when she came to me carrying her tuition bag with her because she had to go for her tuitions after this session. And she was looking really upset. What is the matter? When I asked, she says that today probably my tuition teacher will throw me out of her tuition group. Why? Because she does not want a bad name. Her reputation will be spoiled if I fail. And today she's going to give us a test. If we don't pass that test, she's going to throw me out. And I have learned everything, whatever she had said. And my mommy has taken up my work. I have answered all the questions to my mother. But I don't know what happens to me when I am answering a test. In front of her, even if I'm giving oral answers, I just forget everything. I get very nervous. Even if I'm writing down at that point of time, I go blank. I cannot write everything. So I end up getting very little marks. So today the same thing is going to happen. I said, okay. So we did tapping on that. About 45 minutes or so we must have worked, after which she went for her tuitions. And later in the night, she calls me up. Bach gayi. I'm saved. What happened? I got 80% marks. Just that one round of tapping. Same preparation, same person, same situation. Where she was losing 80%, she got 80% marks. So it was her own capacity of 80%. And that was a turning point in the student's life. There was no turning back after that. She did so well. And she was so timid because of this, that she does so much hard work, but nothing comes out of it. So she was very, very timid. She would always remain, closed. This girl in college, she used to represent in each and every beauty contest. She became a diva for our Miss Universe. And anyway, now she's nicely married with 2 lovely kids. Very happy. The way this girl blossomed, imagine that one single positive experience, which she deserved. She had it with her, but it was all suppressed with emotions.
Yeah, it's so true too. And also, I think there is a professor in one of the universities, I believe it's in America. They have seen these complicated math problems were solved, and she keeps doing. And also there was one particular school where a teacher does it before the class, and the children are doing so well. And so there are a lot of these new studies that I have been reading about, but I know it works. Thank you.
It works wonderfully, and with all age groups. There's a way of simplifying things and getting into specifics or doing it in general. You can actually change your environment. I must tell you about Sumati, there in one of that picture. When she came to me, after having to learn the technique, etc., she came to me complaining about her son, that he doesn't listen, he does this and he does that, etc., 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 etc. And I was pretty blunt. I said, I'm sorry, you do the same thing. I was fortunate that she had attended that full workshop and had become a little more aware and sensitive. So she did feel bad, but at the same time, she was open. She said, okay, what can I do? So when we started doing some work, she did a number of one-on-one sessions with me. And she started realizing that everything that she is saying and not liking it in her son, he is only imitating her. Each of those things, she found that she is herself doing it, and she underwent a tremendous change. She was under medication for 25 years for something, is now on the way of reducing under a doctor's guidance and getting out of that medicine dependency, and doing it so beautifully that I'm actually proud of her. She says that this has really kind of made my life. And to me also, she came after completing her 2 years teachers training program at the Yoga Institute. It just so happened that we were doing our millennium, the centenary year celebration. So there was that game stall that I was looking after. She was a volunteer there. When just by and by, as we were talking, I was saying that this is the workshop I'm going to do soon, and she came. And what a turning point. That she feels that everybody, whoever she comes across, she will definitely kind of, now she's good enough to make people do this thing on her own. Having done the master's class, you get equipped to be able to make others also use it, do it like I'm making you do. She can also do one-on-one group thing, yet some experience is needed to be doing it with group. But one-on-one, she can also do. After the master's class, you can do that. Anything else that I can help you with? Yeah, Viluna, speak up. Yeah, just unmute yourself and talk.
Thank you. Can we do this technique in conjunction with others? As you know, we've been learning a lot of other techniques, such as, this reminds me of Soul Temple in its ease and simplicity. So can you do them interchangeably or in conjunction with each other?
Yeah, good question. Good question at the right time. In the beginning, some of you shared that you have learned a number of modalities, and it is nice, it's interesting to try out this sometime and that sometime and that sometime. Each modality, if you have gone into the depths of it and learned it to a real good depth, practiced it sufficiently enough to master it, and understand the finer nuances, how it affects.
Okay.
If all the modalities that you're using, you are an expert at that, not just jack of all trades, but really a master, then yes, then you will fully understand the principles and you know how to mix and match and do all this. But if you are learning only as an exploratory activity, like some of you might think that now I know it, I have the steps, I can do it on my own. Yes, to a small extent, you will succeed, but you don't know the nuances of this technique. It requires a good lot of cleaning of your own self first before you can combine any of these techniques.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very important to understand the nuances, how and where it works. It is like trying to cook Chinese for an Indian. You have to know both properly. Then you know how much to mix and match and what ingredients to mix and what not to mix. Yeah, it's like that.
Perfect. Thank you. The second part of my question then would be, each of us will find that which we connect best to, and then that's what we should study more, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Also, it can happen. There is a saying in, forget the saying, okay. If you want to dig a well, you want to get to the water in the well.
Yeah.
You need to dig in one place deep. If you dig a number of holes and not go deep enough in any one, you won't get any water. So
it's a great analogy.
Too many modalities and not getting into deep of anyone, it doesn't help. Okay. It's good to know a number of them. You saw, I shared with you. I understand how to apply Sankhya. I showed you, I've written a book on practical Sankhya, which is a rare thing. Most people, even those who are deep into yoga, consider Sankhya only as a philosophy. But Sankhya can be very, very practical. Thanks to my preceptor, Dr. Jaydev, only showed me the practical side of Sankhya. The theory of Sankhya, I have learned on my own and from other places. But the person who lived Sankhya in his life, I got to learn it from him. So I apply and practice Sankhya. I apply and practice yoga. I apply and practice EFT. I apply and practice tapas acupressure technique. I apply and practice Ho'oponopono with equal ease. And in having to use the best of this, mainly EFT, I have designed Vritti Changing Technique. Kumi, you have done EFT earlier. You must have seen I do it a little differently.
Yes, yes, I was thinking even with the fingers. Yes, yes.
Yes. So you'll see videos on YouTube, any number of videos you can find on EFT. And there are 2-3 different ways that people use it.
Okay.
And there are different points that they may use. The way of making the key statement also can be different. Also, not everybody uses the 2 cycles. You know, there are different ways, and you can explore that provided you have understood and experienced one to explore. So I really would say get to the core of whatever suits you, whatever works best for you, because each one of us have our own constitution and our own inclination. No? So based on that, we must do it. It's possible to become master of many also. That's perfectly okay. Anything else that I can help?
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody still having that pain, particularly you, Suzanne? Is it worse?
Suchitra, it got much better. I sat with it as you had advised me. But along with, when you said saying that I let go of the pain, I just added something to it, saying that I let go of the pain and any emotion attached to this pain. So I think that kind of really helped me along together to shift, and I feel much better. I feel like a little clean
Common
out.
sense you used very well.
So thank you very much.
Well. No, otherwise, we could have a one-on-one for 10-15 minutes and it would have worked. That's why I wanted to ask. Anybody else? Anita?
I think I will learn this VCT from you.
Okay.
Yes.
No, it's not aggravated in this process.
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay. And Michelle? Are you good?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, yeah, because I don't want to leave anybody feeling disturbed. Yes, it's important that we end the session in a balance. This is also another difference that you will find in the things that you will see on the net. There are practitioners who will end the session at whatever stage. You may want to end because you feel so uncomfortable with some of the things that comes up and you don't want to work further. I get them to do EFT on not wanting to work with EFT also. And things get better. So also this closing, a lot of people don't do. And that leaves you attracting all sorts of anything. It could be rubbish. It could be unwanted. It could be somebody else's problem that you're taking on upon yourself and then suffering it. So I am very particular that every round I complete, I make you close. Even whether I'm doing one-on-one, because we're going to do so much more, but still I close at every time. Because it's necessary to be balanced. And this happened because of my yoga background. When I went to learn EFT, I was already deep into yoga. But having to have that common sense, it was possible for me to find these ways and means that works the best. We were about 19 people when I did the workshop with this lady. And this lady had learned directly from Gary Craig by working with him in his hospital for a year in Philadelphia. So I was very fortunate because this was the second last workshop she did. After that, she stopped conducting workshops with each others. And I'm the only one out of that whole batch who became a practitioner. And I attribute it to my background of yoga. Because I had absolute clarity on where to use it, what to use it for. And I was myself the experimental object. Because I was an extremely emotional person. I could, my anger, irritation, not irritation, irritability was terribly high. In fact, a lot of the seniors, some of your mentors might, Dr. Atul would know how bad I was. And today it is only 2%. If it was 100, then I'm not even talking of 10. It's 2%. It's so greatly come down. Yeah, Vrinda.
So I had a question, that closing when you mentioned that point here. Is it typical to feel pain when you're pressing on it?
This is also another thing that you will learn if you come for the detailed session, that each one of us have our own more sensitive points. And those points we can make use of when, in the thick of things. Suddenly now you don't have time to do the whole thing, but you badly need it now. So then that particular point, so probably for you, this point is a more sensitive point. So just by using
and actually,
this point
I've been
alone,
experiencing
this point alone, you can come out of a situation. Like I said, this point to this one to
Susan.
tap on. For you, I would then give you this point to work on.
That is really interesting because I've actually had this pain for a few weeks in just that area.
So just, I choose to be free from this pain. You can do that and it should go away. And
so what were the words
this is
you
your
said?
sensitive point. I choose to be free from this pain.
This pain.
Just that.
Thank you.
Do it for a couple of minutes and you'll find it's gone. Very fruitful. Thank you for contributing so much. And I didn't have to push anybody to talk. Good number of people who were speaking, sharing, and interacting. And that's what makes this actually experiential. And I hope you also found it more fruitful rather than just lecture.
Yes, thank you, ma'am, for the very insightful and very interesting session. And now over to Barbara for
Thank
Barbara.
you so much. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Namaste, Suchitra ji. Namaste. I'm here today to thank you in behalf of the entire class. I thank you for your time and your brilliant sharings. It has been a pleasure to have you here today. And I'm sure most of us will remember and follow you from today onwards. We are all here to learn for our self-improvement first, and maybe one day to be ready to support and help others too. And having the chance to listen and to learn so many interesting and eye-opening words usable for freeing ourselves from non-reality and so from pain and suffering is absolutely a blessing. You made my day already in the first 30 minutes while speaking about the way we use our head, our hands, and our heart. When you said, is somebody else using your hands? Is somebody else using your head? No. So why do you allow your heart or your emotions to be used by somebody or something else? And with these statements, you open my eyes and you free myself from unnecessary thoughts that are triggering me in this period of time. Then about your presence, you're genuine, you shine, you keep smiling and laughing. And in this way, you make your words easy to understand and full of light. I'm sure everybody has felt at ease in this beautiful session. So Suchitra ji, I really thank you for spreading your knowledge and for being so helpful and patient in answering to all our questions. I think that emotional freedom technique is another bliss from the universe, in a world where, in my opinion, the balance should be the priority. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. That was so beautiful. Thank you. You picked up such crucial points out of the whole thing. Thank you.
Thank you.